Hello, and welcome to the Enhanced Case Finding Tool Training. Now, following on from the Population Explorer tool, where we have showed you how to filter on your different demographic, what you can do is now go into the Enhanced Case Finding tool to see a cohort of your patients. Within this training demo, we have de-identified data, so we won't be able to see any personal information. But if I take you back just a few steps to if we were, as an example, to filter on male in our Population Explorer tool, we then can see is that accounts for about 50% of the population. Now, if we enter the enhanced case finding tool found on your left, what you will see is if we click on patient condition view, is you'll see that it loads the patients that are currently selected under your population. Again, this is redacted names and NHS numbers, so we can't see that within the tool. What we would use the enhanced case finding tool is to look for a specific cohort of patients under specific criteria. For example, if we go back to show filters and we went to risk stratification filters, and we say we want patient need groups that are very high, so from let's say 8 to 11 in terms of their frailty, and we also want to know that what subset of these of our patients here are also smokers, whether in the past or current. We can see that our selected population is 26,394. Now, if we hide the filters in terms of the patient condition view, you'll be able to see your patients, their practice, BMI, and other sorts of information. What we then can do is actually, once you click into the patient activity, that this will load, and then you also can see a bit more information around the activity this patient's had. Have they had any A&E attendances, any inpatient admissions? And also you could start to see that, okay, what is the probability of an emergency admission for these patients in your cohort? Similarly, you can find out some more information about the patient drugs and vaccination records if you click into the patient drugs and vaccination filter screen. And this will load very similar to the last screen with their blood glucose level, hemoglobin, sodium, etc., etc. And what the enhanced case finder is very good at doing is taking the filters and having a very specific cohort of patients you may want to contact. Hopefully this gives you an example of how you can use filters from your demographic filters to more specific, maybe test or vaccination filters. So looking at specific blood pressure as an example, or going into your risk stratification to see in your John Hopkins algorithm, if we look at patient need groups, you can start to really nail down into a cohort of patients that we may need to pass on to doctors to be able to contact these patients that are at high risk. I hope this example was helpful, and you can see the very different ways we can start to filter and slice the data to identify specific patient need groups. Thank you.